Hey, how's it going everyone? Nova here and welcome back to Destiny 2. In today's video we're going to be talking about the competitive playlist and giving a guide or at least my opinion on how to reach Fabled as well as Legend. First things first, we're going to touch on the lower ranks. The lower ranks are not necessarily easier, but a little more chaotic in a sense of weapons, subclasses, and even skill level. Most players jump into comp early on and establish rank, whereas others start a bit late, so the competition is a bit unpredictable, and that's going to take me into my first tip. Never underestimate your opponent. Everyone is there playing for a reason, either to get a pinnacle weapon or to go for the unbroken title, so they're going to do whatever they can and use whatever strategy they believe is the most effective, and if they catch you off guard or sleeping on them, you probably won't be in for a very good time. I'm guilty of this numerous times, and in a lot of situations it has come back to bite me. Tip number 2 is find and establish a team. I recommend this because everyone has a specific style of play, and establishing a team early on is the best and most effective way to build chemistry and synergy. To clarify a bit on this, the more you play with someone or even others, the more you begin to learn and understand their play style and can adjust to one another based on strengths and weaknesses. The way we found to be the most effective way on my team is running 3 shotguns and someone snipe. I don't mean sit back in your spawn and hard scope a lane while your team goes up and fights. As the sniper on our team, I found myself using my primary much more than the average person in this playlist does, because in many situations the team needs my help to push, and they need me there with them. Granted, I'm normally right behind them, but you'll never catch me in the back of the map, and that's why I believe our methods work great for us. Granted, different things do work different for each individual team, so don't be afraid to swap out your loadouts. It's very important to establish your role on the team and play by it. As I mentioned before, I enjoy sniping, so I'm not going to push someone around a tight corner with a sniper out. That's just not smart, whereas someone with a shotgun could. Same works the other way around. Someone shouldn't, and I say shouldn't because I've seen it before, push me in the open with just their shotty out thinking it has more range than my supremacy does. I know Dust Rock is good, but the fact that you think you can kill me from across the map actually makes me sick to my stomach. That's going to take me to my next tip, which is flexibility. You not only need to adapt to your teammates, but you need to play around your opponents as well. Have a counter for everything your opponent is trying to do. If you see they're all running scouts and you know they're looking to play the long game, your options are either to match them or play aggressively as a team to make them as uncomfortable as possible. It goes the same with supers and subclasses. Every super and subclass has a counter. It's up to you to figure out what will counter what, and using this to specifically take that out. You get it. You get it, so let's move on from that point. That brings me to my next tip. Make them play your game. What I mean by that is nearly every game is going to be won and lost by positioning, how well you're able to control a specific area of the map, and tempo. With the way heavy is in this game, it's crucial that your team maintain control over the heavy spawn. This allows you free kills and gives your team a massive advantage in gunfights. The tempo of a game is established within the first couple of minutes a match and can be a bit unpredictable unless you and your team can control it. Take for example, your team wins the initial fight and now have mid-map control. You're basically controlling how fast or slow the game is played. At lower ranks, the enemy team will likely trickle in, allowing you to pick them off one at a time, but in higher ranks you'll see more composed, well thought out strategies to take you over and gain mid-map control. And that really takes me to my next point. Be patient and a team player. Everyone wants to be a hero, but in competitive you're going to have to put that mentality behind you and focus on bettering the team. Instead of thinking about how you can go in and warrior the entire enemy team, be patient with your teammates and push together. The hero or warrior mentality will only get you farmed and causes a trickling effect we touched on earlier. Your success pushing as a team are much safer and higher than if you were to do it alone. I know you're a young god, but a decent team with a solid communication will wipe the floor with you 9 times out of 10 if you don't make a team push. After you're killed, you leave your team to a fight 3v4 or even 2v4, and at that point you become a detriment to your team and allows the enemies to begin snowballing you. The next thing I want to touch on is communication. Communication is key to everything from knowing where the enemies are to controlling the map. A team with good communication will know exactly what you're doing, what you're using, how many of you guys are in a location, and what you're planning to do nearly at all times. And that works both ways. Call out everything you see and are wanting to do while fighting and listening. You need to call out heavy, and if the enemy has it, call out who and what they have. Someone's trying to flank, call it out and aggress them together, but be careful not to over pursue. The last thing you want is to continuously flip spawns and have the enemies on all sides of you, so while it's okay to aggress, never push too far, otherwise the game becomes more chaotic and unpredictable. Next we'll discuss subclasses and loadouts. In early comp you'll see a variety of things like the well and tether, skyburners, just anything you can really think of. As you progress you'll see a lot more lunas and not forgottens paired with a shotgun such as Dust Right Blues. You'll see a small amount of fusion rifles and the occasional bow and sniper. One thing is guaranteed, and that is to play the meta as you get closer and closer to legend, because your enemy will, and not using it will only put you at a significant disadvantage. It's the meta for a reason, so I suggest using it to be successful in high rank PvP. Spectral Blades are by far the strongest and most popular to use right now in the Crucible, but not the only thing viable. Dawnblade and Sentinel are also very strong as well, but as you gain into higher tiers, as I mentioned before, the variety starts to go away and you'll be playing against the same subclasses and the same weapons nearly every single game. Bygones and Retold is low-key meta, so don't be afraid to pull it out when needed. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the mental game. If things don't go your way, brush it off and don't take out your frustrations on anyone. There's a reason behind every single death and something you can do to avoid it. Every death is the consequence of a mistake you made, and is therefore your fault. Granted, there are things out of your control that happens, but 99% of the time, there's something you could have done better. Smashing teammates does nothing but lower morale, and brings absolutely nothing to the table for the overall success of your group. Treat every single game as a learning experience in both wins and especially in losses. Learning from your mistakes and finding ways to correct them is what ultimately separates a good player from a great one. At the end of the day, it's a very sweaty and competitive environment, so it's important to have fun. I know it can be tough at times, but as I mentioned before, rather than being upset, use it all as a learning experience and become the best player you can be. Look at comp as a way to improve your game rather than focusing straight to the end goal. If you just sit there and count points, it'll seem like a never-ending grind of sadness. So once again, and this will be the last time I say it, and it's just try to have fun with it. I promise you, this playlist isn't that bad if you take the tips I've given you and embrace the competition. So with that being said, before I forget, go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed. It really does mean a lot to me and shows you enjoy this as much as I do. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more content and that bell icon so you can be the first to catch my newest videos. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the video and possibly add a few things I've mentioned here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Take care.
Oh, that is it, Bubba.
Nope, just the team fire, dude. It was good teams, very good teams from them. Uh-oh, yeah, Juice, time for Juice now. 7 column!
Oh, maybe. I'm pretty absolute right now. That guy hit me with
Jotun.
yeah, whatever the fuck that fusion rifle was. I think it was Aaron Till. Either way.
I'll hit you with the raid one.
Damn, Cloudflare. Just outplayed the fuck out of me, I'm not gonna lie. Feels bad.
Nope.
Stop crouching with a fusion. There's 3 down.
You have my respect, Hunter. A well-fought victory.
That kind of cloud cheeks.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, you got stuck in it
Looks like
too?
that blueberry did it too.
They knew you were coming, and it still looked like you ambushed them.
Oh my goodness, guys.
GG's.